And we welcome you to this presentation of the South Atlantic Conference on the Bears Sports Network. A rivalry renewed once again. Lenoir-Rhyne and Wingate have been playing since the 1980s. And this year's version is underway. These two teams in different directions right now. Wingate 500 on the year, 4-4-1 in the SAC. Bears still on the hosting line of the SAC tournament, but Eric Bach and Jacob Parkinson, so happy you're along with us tonight. Game 1 of 2 between the Bears and the Bulldogs. The women's game coming up next. But Jacob, the Bears are coming off maybe their most emotional win of the season, and are looking to follow that win over Chowan up with another solid performance against their arch rival.
Yeah, it was a great win over Chowan in midweek, overtime goal, and it was a very good goal as well that won the game. So that'll be a massive confidence boost for the Bears going forward, and hopefully carry them over the line tonight.
And a big news for the Bears is they get Carlos Montaliba-Lobo back, as that one's in on net and picked up by Jens Bergendorf.
And am I right in saying Xavi Moya's back in the lineup?
You are right in saying that. So two guys that the Bears didn't have against Chowan, both back in the lineup tonight. But the starters for the Bears is Victor Cascone, Jaime DeManuel, Jaime Poza, Montaliba-Lobo. Nico Bohiguis gets the start tonight, along with Diego Delgado, Danny Fernandez, Miguel Montano, Harry Rowe, and Juan Basabe back for his third game in net. And here he is as the ball's right in front of the net. Surprised he didn't come out of his box to get it. And the first corner of the game goes to Wingate.
It's good to see Xavi back in the side. You could see the frustration on the game midweek when he couldn't play. He was still vocal from the touchline.
59 degrees and sunshine right now. It's been a wet week in Hickory. But this ball's in, and Basabe has no trouble with it. The Bulldogs have split their last 4. Beat Lincoln Memorial, lost 2 one-goal games to Coker and Anderson back-to-back, and then got back on the winning track last time out against Tusculum, a team that the Bears drew with, who is still winless in the SAC. That is Tusculum. And they remained winless after their meeting with these Bulldogs. There's Harry Rowe, who set up the first goal of the game for the Bears the other night. Danny Fernandez header, but it was a perfect setup from him.
That's what he's been good at all season, though, putting that ball into the box and hoping that someone gets on the end of it.
Victor Cascone. And now the second corner of the game goes to LR, so we're less than 5 minutes in. Coach Jack Winter in his 6th season. That was probably their biggest win of the year against Chowan. Especially huge for regional seeding as Poza gives the corner back to Harry Rowe. Here it comes into the box. And narrowly missing the head of Moya and the goalpost. But a good chance off a good set piece there for LR.
You were saying about that win midweek as well, and I think they needed that confidence boost, the Bears, after a few shaky results away from home. They just needed a win just to give them that boost of confidence again that they need to carry through for the end of the season now.
These two met twice in the span of 10 days in the spring season, both here. The first one a win for the Bears, 1-0, and the second a loss 1-0. That was in the SAC final, the SAC tournament final. Wingate got the best of LR that second time just 10 days later. And they met 3 times, actually, during the spring season. The first one was a draw, 2-2. So 1 draw, 1 win for each side in 3 meetings when the SAC was divided into pods during the COVID spring season. And obviously the geography put both Wingate and LR in the same pod. This is Miguel Montano. Scored a couple of goals this season. He's new to the Bears this year. A misplay there for the Bears. But by Wingate standards, 500 is a down year. And they're trying, this would be a big boost for them to get a win on the road over their rivals, Lenoir-Rhyne. So even though Wingate's not quite the beast they normally are, still dangerous as ever.
They have a lot of international players as well, Wingate. The majority of the team's international.
As is the case for the Bears, almost exclusively from Spain. Taliba Lobo, who hurt his groin a few weeks ago, has a nifty move there to get past 3 defenders, and we have a foul on Wingate.
One thing I do know about Wingate is they have a very, very good cross-country team. Absolutely destroyed us in the SAC Championship cross-country the other weekend. Destroyed everyone.
Yeah, Jacob, a member of the LR cross-country team. Wingate's strong in all sports. Bear football team less than an hour away from kickoff down there tonight. But these two have traded back and forth. The Bears won here in 2018. Lost 1-0 at Wingate in 2019, and I mentioned the 3 meetings from the spring. First one was a draw, second one a Bear win, and the final one in the SAC Championship, a Wingate win. They're always close, highly contested, intense, somewhat chippy games, and I don't expect anything different tonight. This is Nicholas Witter on the outside, sophomore from Germany. Gives it into the corner, and it's a goal kick, as Reese Corpuz could not run it down. He's from Hawaii, midfielder from Honolulu. So he's American, but about as far from North Carolina as you can be in America.
There's a lot of freshmen as well on this Wingate team.
Very
today.
young team, which could explain some of their struggles, again, by their standards. There's a lot of teams in this league that would very much take a 500 record. With the strength of the SAC and soccer, both on the men's and women's side. Kobe Vasquez, one of the Americans from Orlando, Florida. Devin Scully from New York. Owen Marshall, an Englishman from York.
Not far from my grandparents.
If you couldn't tell, folks, Jacob's English. That's the keeper, Jens Bergendorf. He's from Denmark, sophomore, 6'1", 185-pounder. Soren Nygaard is the leading scorer on this team. He wears number 11, also from Denmark. As Nygaard was out of his box there, and Cascone put a little pressure on him. And Basabi comes out to grab this one. Danny Fernandez in the middle at center back. I was talking with Danny after he scored his first goal of the season against Chuan, and He was just overjoyed. Danny's just a generally joyful person, no matter what's really happening. Always a smile on his face and laughing about something. And we have a whistle. I'm not sure who it's going against. I think it's against the Bears. It is. But Soren Nygaard, as I mentioned, it was a 2-0 win for Wingate over Tusculum their last time out. Nygaard had both of the goals.
I think a big thing to look out for today for the Bears will be not to give away as many silly free kicks in their own half, because in the game midweek there was so many fouls and free kicks that they gave away in their own half, and ultimately they ended up conceding from it.
Played 11 minutes. And the one really quality chance for the Bears off the corner is Harry Rowe has a lot of space on this near side. LR can't find him.
That's what he's going to be doing all night, Harry. He's just going to be looking for that long diagonal ball and then stretching the field, stretching the defenders and making it difficult for them.
The goal in the SAC championship was scored by Nick Bennett, who was still a freshman by eligibility because of the COVID year. So whistle and a foul on Wingate as Posa goes down. Bennett's from Wilmington. Cascone scored both of the Bear goals in the 2-2 draw. Now here he is. Doesn't know what he wants to do with it. Leaves it back for Harry Rowe in the corner. This is a man that LR has really missed. Carlos, the groin looks good. The center is there. And Posa is too wide with the shot. I think Posa got a little bit too close to Carlos there as the angle wasn't good for the Bears.
Carlos brings a lot of energy into the team. He's not afraid to travel with the ball. And that's something that I think the Bears were missing a little bit when he was out. Someone that can just travel with the ball, take a few players on and then pick out a pass.
So Bergendorf has a really good pass that gets through to Witter. Gets pushed to the corner in a center that doesn't find a foot of a Bulldog. This is the final Saturday of the regular season in the SAC. One more league night on Wednesday night when Carson Newman comes to town on both the men's and women's side. And then a week from today, the conference tournament begins and the top 4 seeds host. Bears on track to do that right now. They're in 3rd place in the SAC. Wingate right now in the tournament, but a couple of wins would certainly help their seeding. Yeah, Wingate actually right now sitting 8th, so they're the last team into the tournament as Cascone gets a one-on-one matchup. Leaves it back for Posa. Jaime just got his first goal last week. D'Emanuel leaves it for Moya, and the Bears are ahead. Xavi returns, Chavi scores. 1-0 LR.
And that was a good team goal as well, set up by Poser. Set up to him on the edge of the box, and all you had to do was just fire it home.
Take a look at our Spangler replay. Cascone first. Posa. D'Emanuel let it go for Moya. Didn't look like the right move at the time, but it certainly was. Less than 15 in, the Bears strike first. All the replays on the Bears Sports Network are presented by Spangler Restoration. But a good start for LR. They conceded the first goal to Chowan and then scored 2 unanswered to win that game, but get on the board first here today. Goals against Wingate are not easy to come by, but that one looked pretty easy for LR, Jake.
Yeah, and that was, like I said, that was really well worked goal, team goal, and it was unselfish of Poser in the end to lay it off to Moya, and it was a good finish.
Chavi's first goal of this season did not miss on the far left post.
And he put it right where the keeper doesn't like them as well. Bottom corners, keepers don't like it there. They can't, you can accelerate yourself, you can jump up, but you can't really make yourself dive any faster into the ground. So it's the ideal place to put it.
It's a good point. This is leg 2 of a triple header today on the Bears Sports Network, and another delivery into row. Bears with some numbers now, but a good defensive play that time by Jackson Hollenbach, senior from Raleigh, who has played in all of those tough games between these two that I've mentioned. Last 5 in this series decided by 1 goal. And one of those 5 was a draw. Long throw from Harry Rowe, as he often does. That was all Cascone could do with that one on that touch. Jaime D'Emanuel scored the game winner with 30 seconds to go in the first overtime against Chowan. Beautiful, high quality, as Jack Winter put it. Lots of pressure on right now for the Bears offensively, as Posa was onside, and it's a corner. Other than the goal, the best chance of the game so far for LR has come off a corner. They passed it back the last time. We'll see if they go to the net this time.
I think Harry Rowe's sort of lingering over there. I think they're going to do the same again. Pass it back to Harry, maybe. No.
It's in, and it's a goal kick. Montano was right there but couldn't do anything with it. So here's a run on the outside for Wingate, and cleared out of there by Fernandez, the reigning SAC Defensive Player of the Year. Easy to forget sometimes that both in the spring season, the Bears had both the SAC Offensive and Defensive Player of the Years and Players of the Year in Cascone and Fernandez. Victor's scoring has been slightly down this fall, but the quality is not. So has some part in just about every goal the Bears score, and that's still the case tonight. Here's a run for Posa now on a great feed. He's onside. Jaime gets the left foot into it, centered up, but cleared out of there by Vasquez as Montalivo Lobo was right there.
There's a vital header in the end just to get it away from from Carlos, so he couldn't get his head on it. It was good delivery into the box, though.
Lots of room so far for the Bears strikers, though, Jacob.
Yeah, they've had some really good movement off the ball, actually, to create that room. So credit to them, actually. They've been a handful for Wingate's defence so far.
Here's another chance. This is where D'Emanuel scored his other goal. Chips this one just wide. He scored the winner against Chawan from outside the 18, almost from that exact same spot, but this one just a little bit wide. Just about 20 minutes in. Moya boots this one a mile high. There's a foul on Montano. Not a super strong foul there, but enough to draw the whistle. Now the free kick in from Figueroa, and not close. Wind maybe a little bit of a factor tonight. It's coming in gusts.
Say all in all, it's quite nice conditions tonight for the
Not get it by Scully. He was right there in position. Now there's a little bit of extra after that whistle there as Monteleo Lobo and Rowe were still on the ground, but everybody's good.
You mentioned midweek about being a non-Spanish speaker on this Bears team.
Yeah.
And how difficult that might be. You saw in the video released by Bears Sports the other day, the mic'd up with Ollie Gardner, that
yes.
how much Spanish communication does actually go on in the training sessions.
And Ollie's from England, so not exactly a native speaker.
No, but I can imagine he'll be taking Spanish for his international, for his foreign language.
That's true. Bohigua starts in place of Gardner tonight, but it was an interesting look into training for them because, as I mentioned the other night, right now, all but one player on the field right now for the Bears, Harry Rowe, is the only player on the field that's not from Spain. Cascone, Poza, D'Emanuel, Monteleo Lobo, Moya, Bohiguas, Delgado, Montano, and Fernandez, and Basabe, the keeper, all come from Spain. So Harry Rowe's the odd man out when it comes to the language. Almost a turnover there, but Hollenbach's able to run it down. But nothing comes of it for Wingate. And it ends up being a goal kick as Montano wisely lets it go. This is game 2 of a triple header on the Bears Sports Network today. Bear volleyball team made quick work of Queens. Quick 3-game sweep. 3-set sweep, I should say. And they're rolling along right now. Second place in the SAC. Best start in 15 years for them. This game that's happening in front of us, and then senior night for the LR women.
And then, of course, you got the football team playing away as well today.
That's right. Football about half an hour from kickoff down at Wingate. We have a whistle as Reese Corpuz commits the foul. I'm not sure they heard the whistle initially. Bear men's basketball team played at Tennessee, and obviously they didn't beat Tennessee, but it was they did themselves proud though. They had one little stretch as somebody was offside, Harry Rowe.
Winding up the opposition, not giving the ball back quick enough.
He's very quiet too. Like, you can tell he's just feisty and a little bit mischievous, but he hardly says a word, both on and off the field. We have a foul on Wingate. It was a little bit of a delayed whistle. I think the ref was waiting to see what became of it, but it certainly was a foul. Part of a full day of Bears sports. I think we listed them all, right? Men's basketball, football, soccer, volleyball. I think that's it.
I think so.
That's a Leo Lobo.
The Bears have just been trying that long ball
And it's
all
worked.
game so far, and it has worked. Because the movement up front has been so good, and like I say, you got Rowe on this left-hand side stretching out defence. So yeah, the movement's been good enough to make that defence struggle.
And it's not something you see that often from the Bears. Like, this is obviously a specific game plan from Jack Winter and company.
Yeah, no, I agree. They normally go out wide and whip crosses into the box, but they've been much more direct and much more central tonight. Just getting them long balls down the middle of the pitch and hoping to get the first header on it.
And we stop the clock for a moment before this free kick as Poza's shoe came untied. Bohiguis will not take it. Poza will. Cascone back to Poza. This one into the box. Montano leaps. Fernandez is there. Leaves it for Lobo! Off the crossbar, but Cascone buries it! Carlos was just high. Victor was not. It's 2-0 Bears.
And that was just good being alert off the crossbar. First one to react to the ball. It was a good shot by Carlos, and he was just unlucky not to put it in the back of the net. But then after that, it was just a matter of who can respond quickest to the ball. And it was the Bears.
Victor Cascone gets his 5th goal of the year. He is a thorn in Wingate's side. Let's take a look at the Spangler replay. The initial ball from Poza. Carlos thought he had it. He was strutting like he had it, but Cascone was right there to just clean it up for him. 2 first-half goals for the Bears. The first by Xavi Moya. The second by Cascone.
And off goes Carlos now.
Yeah.
And I think it's Benny, is it? Benny Genizer that comes on?
I'm trying to find him. Yep, Benny Genizer comes on. Obviously, in Carlos's first game back after a pretty, I don't want to say very serious groin injury, but groin injuries, especially in this game, are very detrimental.
Yeah.
And you don't want to push him too hard, and I think his impact has already been made tonight.
Well, I've seen firsthand how committed he's been to his recovery. I've been in the athletic training room a few times and seen him in there working on his groin, trying to get it better. I think he's just been desperate to get over that injury and be out playing again.
It would have been nice for him to see that one sneak into the goal, but it ended up being the same result for the Bears, so they'll take it. You mentioned the other night when the game against Chowan became 1-1, or pardon me, when Chowan scored the first goal, that the next goal was the most important one. And I think that is the case tonight for Wingate. If they go down 3-0, you can basically call it. But if they can cut this lead in half and make it 2-1, then who knows? But the next goal, very important.
Exactly, and there's an expression in football, which 2-0 is a dangerous lead because you can start to become a bit too complacent. Hopefully the Bears don't do that. Hopefully they keep pushing forwards, keep putting on the pressure, and get another goal.
Jack Winter told me that he was not concerned at all about which Bear team would show up for Wingate. He said if we can get the guys to show up for Newberry and Tusculum, 2 games that they did not win that they should have, that's one thing, but he was not worried about the focus at all heading into this game, especially because of the history. I mean, I mentioned what happened in the spring. A win, a loss, and a draw, but the loss was in the biggest one in the SAC championship.
I mean, the good thing for Jack Winter is he's got so much strength and depth that he's got Jaheim Smith, who isn't on the pitch at the minute.
Yep.
We've not had...
This is without Tiefel, too.
Exactly. Camden Coleman, another good goalkeeper who isn't needed at the minute because...
Who got the Bears to where they are.
Yeah, exactly. So they've got some serious strength and depth.
That's a good point. Wingate has gone silent offensively. They haven't had a good chance in quite a long time. As a handball for Delgado there.
I don't even know if I would say they've had a real chance this half, to be honest.
They had the one corner that kinda was a decent chance, and the one run by Reese Corpuz earlier. But maybe one coming here. But snuffed out by Jaime DeManuel, but the ball's still in danger, but Basabi down to his knees to get it. It's good persistence that time by Witter to keep the pressure on, but just couldn't quite get enough on the shot. Poza with a nifty pass through there to leave it for Moya. Now DeManuel doesn't quite have enough on it to get it to Harry Rowe. Good showing for the student section tonight, numbers-wise.
A few costumes in the crowd as well.
Happy Halloween weekend. It was a very happy Halloween weekend for me, Jacob, because my Spartans beat Michigan today.
Oh, okay, well, not so much for me. I mean, Liverpool drew with Brighton, who they should be beating.
Sorry to hear that.
They're 2-0 up as well. Through a 2-0 lead.
Spartans were down 30-14 in the second half to Michigan. Came back to win 37-33.
Wow.
The biggest day of football in my home state of Michigan today.
Let's just hope we don't see a comeback here.
Yeah, let's hope the Bears are better than Liverpool today. I do like the Wingate uniforms with the different shades of blue. Bears can't believe that whistle right in front of Jack Winter.
Wingate just need to keep possession of the ball, gain a little bit of confidence. They've not really grown into this first half so far at all. They've been on the back foot for, I would say, the entirety of the game so far. So they can just keep doing what they're doing, hold the ball for a little bit, gain a little bit of control over the game, and see if they can gain some confidence from that.
Still 12 and a half minutes to go before halftime, so plenty of time for the Bulldogs to get something going as Bergendorf, the keeper is way out of his box, and Bohiguis tried to put some pressure on him.
I was going to mention that Bergendorf he's confident, isn't he?
Very aggressive, because if you get one bad touch by one of your defenders, it's 3-0. And there's a foul on Owen Marshall as Bohiguis goes to the ground, and Pedro Santos, freshman from Brazil, helps him up. Cascone leaves it for Rowe. It's on this near side in the first half. Cascone gets past his defender. Already has one. Centers it up. And a corner coming for the Bears as that one was deflected by Devin Scully.
Good interplay by Cascone and Rowe on that left-hand side again, just to create that opportunity, put that across into the box.
Offensively, the Bears have just had a step on the Bulldogs, basically from the opening kick.
The Bears have looked a lot sharper offensively tonight than they have in the last few games I've seen. In the last few games I've seen, they almost seem like they're second-guessing themselves sometimes before they make the pass, whereas tonight it's been a lot sharper and just a lot more instant.
There was ever a time to figure it out offensively, though. It's right now, late season, right before the conference tournament, right before the potential NCAA tournament. Rowe throws it long in. The ball squirts out the other way, and Wingate gets to it first.
I know me personally, I'd rather see chances being taken and they don't quite come off rather than, you know, passing it backwards and sideways and stuff. Sometimes you've got to take them chances and they're not always going to come off, but when they do, it's worth it.
Posa's been really active on the ball as that one stays in bounds. Lots of pressure offensively for the Bears, and this one goes right to Cascone at the edge of the box. Victor with the left foot, and a great save, diving by Bergendorf. Inches away from being 3-0.
And he would have done well to beat Bergendorf there from that distance with his weak foot. Would have had to be something special.
Nearly was. Marcus Figueroa possesses it. And here he is again. Freshman from SeaTac, Washington. That's Washington State up in the Pacific Northwest. Sometimes I don't know how well you know the American geography, Jacob. Because I know that if I get a quiz on British geography, I would epically fail.
Yeah, no, I'm not great. I know where, like, Texas is. That'd be in, like,
you've been to Illinois.
Yeah.
You know where Illinois is. Maybe you don't even know where it is. You've just been there.
No, I reckon I could point to it on a map.
Okay.
I know roundabouts where New York is. The thing is, before I came out here, I looked on the map. I was like, oh, we're not far from New York at all.
Well,
I'll probably go there. And then I looked on the directions. It took 12 hours drive. I was like, oh, okay.
It's a good 700 miles at least. That one goes off the fence. The ball goes off the fence down here. The fence is decorated for this game. You heard the collective awe from the crowd.
Pops one of the balloons that's lined on the railing. What I do find interesting is Nico Bohiguis is playing up front tonight, and he normally plays right wing back. So maybe they're doing it for his speed or his height. He's a tall guy, so maybe if they're playing them long balls, he wants him to win the headers and flick it onto his attacking partner. But that's something I've not seen before from the Bears. It also makes it interesting because they often alternate between Nico, Benny, and Harry, taking one off at a time. But obviously, with all three of them being on the pitch at the same time, it's be interesting to see what Jack Winter does.
Witter on the far side possesses. They send it back over for Hollenbach. Oland, who's in the game now, Severe Oland from Norway. I think the focus at this point for the Bears is to get it to halftime without conceding one.
Yeah, and they've not looked like conceding, to be honest. They have looked pretty sound defensively so far. Don't want to say too much.
Yeah. Beautiful give and go there from Moya to Ali Gardner, or Benny Genizer, pardon me. Benny didn't start tonight, but has been on for about 15 and keeps it alive offensively for the Bears. Delgado, who also missed a bunch of time when he was injured. Him and Montelio Lobo are the two that have missed significant time. And Basabi, obviously, who didn't play until a week ago. This is only his third game back. But the injury bug has haunted the Bears so far this year. Hopefully it is done haunting the Bears. But as you mentioned, the depth that Jack Winter has at most every position has allowed for the Bears to not really miss a beat in most areas.
Exactly, that could have been a major problem for most teams in the SAC, but having Camden Coleman as a reserve goalkeeper has really came up good for the Bears this year.
Great lead for Genizer, who gets close. Poza has to chase it back. Gives it off for Cascone right there in the middle. Surrounded, and the touch was just a tad too long.
Just took it out of his stride, and he had to stretch to try and reach for it.
Fernandez crashes into the Wingate player. They call him Ferdinand the Bull. He's a bull in a china shop sometimes, and that's a perfect example of that. .6'2", 180 pounds. And it's a tight 6'2", 180 pounds. I mean, he's a muscular dude. Another chance for Harry Rowe, but the pass was not high enough to get it over Hollenbach's head. And now a centering pass that gets booted out of there by by Owen Marshall. 6 and 8 look pretty similar. I mean, Emmanuel has the fancy footwork, and that's what won the game for the Bears the other night, was his fancy footwork, but sometimes it gets him in trouble. Another long throw from Rowe. Cascone has been on the ball a lot more tonight than he was the other night against Chuan. And that's usually a good thing for the Bears offensively.
Oh, definitely. He has good creativity on the ball. Can normally pick out a decent pass, and he's got a good shot in his locker as well.
We might have our first card of the game, or not, as the referee is calling over somebody. Fernandez.
I think the ref's just going to give him a warning now.
Yep, no card. But that's 2 pretty hard fouls by Danny the past 10 minutes. Figueroa will take it for the Bulldogs. Basabe comes in and punches. The net is open. The ball is loose. And offside is Wingate. No goal. Santos buried it, but he was behind the last line. That's a tough break for the Bulldogs. Because Basabe came out of his box. Maybe should have stayed put.
I just don't think it was the best punch by Basabe.
No, and I think he almost whiffed on it.
And he's Lino's his best friend at the minute. Well, linesman. Not you
Yeah.
say Lino over here, do you?
I just say linesman.
I know. I keep thinking about my terminology that I'm using. I'm like, no, they don't say that over here.
The true European football people know exactly what you mean. In American,
I would say we wouldn't have many watching, but the whole team's European, so we probably will.
Right. In American football, we have very scientific terms such as doink.
Doink. Not heard of that one.
You don't know doink?
No.
When a kicker hits the upright with a kick. Michigan almost had a doink today. My stress level would have been a lot lower had that ball doinked instead of gone through the uprights.
That's what makes it exciting, though.
Less than a minute to go. Bears trying to keep Wingate out of the net. They've had a little bit more offensive pressure here in the last 5 minutes. It's a centering pass that goes high, and a good swing that time by Santos as he got the foot on it, but Basabe was there.
That was a good connection by Santos. It was a hard one to really connect with, but he made the most of it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
And the final 10 seconds of the half are through. What a half it was for the Bears. Goals by Chavi Moya, Victor Cascone, and a 2-0 lead in the rivalry game, LR Wingate. Bears on top by 2 at halftime. 15 minutes on the clock. Second half coming up after that on the Bears Sports Network.
This once-in-a-generation project will give student athletes an advantage and position Lenoir-Rhyne as a leader in academics and athletics.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Emergencies don't wait. Get to the hospital. Accidents happen. Get well soon. When it hurts to move forward, tackle your pain. Don't make your health wait. See your doctor. Your health means everything.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Doesn't matter who you are, Everett has you covered. Proud sponsor of the LR Bears.
If you play hard, if you use your feet to chase fitness goals, if you stand all day at work, introducing True Energy Infrared Technology Socks. These may be the best socks you ever wear. Our yarn is infused with infrared nanoparticles. Your body's natural heat ignites these tiny particles, producing infrared energy that improves circulation and stimulates cellular recovery. It's not magic, it's rocket science. The perfect sock for your active life, for fitness, performance, recovery. Proven innovation to ignite your true energy.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Second half about to be underway. Bears and Bulldogs. LR up 2. Goals from Chavi Moya and Victor Cascone, who some Wingate fans and players will probably be having nightmares about for a long time based on his performance in this game throughout the years.
He always seems to turn up in the big games, though, when it matters.
The next goal, as you said, Jacob, so important. Feels like Wingate has to have it if they want any chance to win this game.
Yeah, no, you're right. And like I said in the first half, a 2-goal lead can be a dangerous lead if you become complacent with it. But in the first half, it didn't look as if the Bears were becoming complacent. They looked like they were still being sharp, their passes still being alert defensively. So as long as they can keep doing that, they should be able to see it through the Bears.
Maybe a little bit of rain here in the forecast coming up. We hope not. This ball's in on Basabi, but nobody touched it. It's a goal kick as Bohiguas lets it go.
And I mentioned in the first half about Bohiguas almost being a striker. It looks like he's back at that right wing back position now. And to me, it looks like it's Poser and Cascone up there now. Benny Genizer's off the pitch, I think.
Yep. This is the start. All of the starters are on the field right now for LR. Cascone, Posa, Montelio Lobo.
But I can bet any money that we'll see Benny Genizer before the end of this game come on the pitch again.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Ali Gardner as well, assuming that he did, to their credit, have a little bit more offensive pressure and a few more chances at the end of that first half. One of them was by that man right there, Pedro Santos, who puts a header on Basabi. The Bears have outshot Wingate 9-4 and 4-3 on shots on goal. 3 corners for the Bears in the first half. 10 fouls as well.
And the main real chance that's come for Wingate was that offside goal that they scored,
right.
which came from Basabi's punch, which wasn't.
Chavi Moya maybe got poked in the eye. So they stop the clock with 40-43 to go here in this one. Chavi got the first goal of the game and the first goal of his season for LR off a perfect feed from Posa. Santos hit him in the face and didn't mean to. Gave him a little high five there. Bohiguas now offside. Thought it was close and just a couple of steps too far. Nifty footwork there. Carlos back on the field now after he came off about, what'd you say, 20, 25 minutes into the game came off?
Yeah, I would
and
say
then
so. It was after that second goal for the Bears. He almost, I would almost say he created that goal by hitting the crossbar.
the second goal, yeah, Cascone's header.
Yep.
He definitely did create the goal because the ball went right to Cascone with basically an empty net. After Carlos.
After that, he was subbed off.
Still probably not completely 100% with the groin, but obviously good enough to play tonight.
And you can tell that's probably playing on Jack Winter's mind about his groin. If
Yep.
he's taking him off and trying him out. He's an important player for the Bears, so he don't want to take any unnecessary risks.
It's probably somewhat Carlos's decision too, and I'm sure that the coaching and training staff's instructions to Carlos were to not push it too far, because if it gets re-injured, his season is probably over at this point with just one regular season game remaining after tonight. That game is against Carson Newman on Wednesday night right here at the Moret Sports Complex, and we'll have it for you here on the Bears Sports Network. Carson Newman in first place in the SAC right now. Eight and 1 in league play. Limestone in second, Anderson in third, Bears in fourth. So they're the last hosting team, but depending on what else happens in the conference both tonight and Wednesday night, who knows what could happen. Just gotta control what you can control if you're the Bears. A little bit slippery out there. I've seen a few people go down. Cascone did just there. Santos right at Basabi, trying to center it up and didn't center it enough. It ended up going on goal.
Another free kick here for Wingate.
Wingate has picked it up offensively the past 15 or so minutes of gameplay, I would say.
Yeah, I would say they've come out this second half a better team than they were in the first half, but they needed to improve from their first half performance. They wouldn't have been happy with that.
It's about 30 minutes in that first half where the ball hardly went on the LR side of the field defensively. Much less in the zone as Witter makes Basabi pick it up and play it. Don't forget the women's game's coming up next. About 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Senior night. Seen the 7 seniors on the LR women's team will be honored on the field before the game. And the men will do their senior night on Wednesday night against Carson Newman.
Both men's and women's for the Bears have quite a lot of seniors.
Yeah, it's both will have a lot of roles to fill going into next season.
Big roles as well.
Yeah, big, important roles that have been filled by these seniors that are leaving for quite a long time. But Jack Winter and Gary Higgins, the LR women's head coach, both have good depth and good youth. I mean, both of the top 2 leading scorers on the LR women's team are both freshmen. So, certainly no need to panic.
No, exactly. And if they trust their scouting system, they have the freshmen that you say that are already delivering.
Carlos delivers it to Poza, and coming out to get it is Bergendorf, who made a really great save, diving, lunging to prevent this game from being 3-0. Cascone almost had his second goal of the game. But Bergendorf turned him away towards the end of the first half. We're 10 minutes into the second half. And Wingate, I agree with you, Jacob, has turned it up of late, but will it be enough? Great feed by DeManuel to Harry Rowe, who has lots of room. The Welshman cut off. Cascone gets it poked away, and we have a foul on Wingate's.
Right
Soren Nygaard right at the feet of Jack Winter. The referee would have heard an earful if he had not whistled that one. I mean, it was clearly a foul. But the free kick from Montano is not good and goes out of bounds right back to Wingate.
I would say possession-wise, Wingate have had the most possession this half, but like I've said in the past with the Bears, it's all well and good having the possession, but it's what you can do with it. And it's about taking them risks that I was talking about in the first half. If you're not willing to take the risks, then, it doesn't come off all the time, but when it does, you're thankful for it. But you can have possession and pass it sideways and pass it backwards, and you're not really going to gain all that much from doing it.
This one stepped through by Delgado, who leaves it for Carlos. Carlos ahead to Bohiguis. Perfectly passed. Bohiguis centers up. DeManuel. Oh, what a save. Bergendorf again. It was basically an open net, but DeManuel waited half a beat. Bergendorf got just enough on it to pop it just over the crossbar, but a great chance there for the Bears to make it 3-0, and they're not able to.
That was such a good team move as well, and very good movement from Bohiguez, and then well cut back, and in the end it was a good save from the Danish keeper.
Couple of gorgeous saves. This game could easily be 4-0 right now. Bergendorf watches that one fly over off of Montano, so a goal kick coming, but boy did Wingate dodge a bullet there.
And that was back to front so quickly from the Bears, from defence to attack in a matter of seconds.
It was. The ball movement has just been the best I've seen the whole year for LR. DeManuel again, and intercepted that time by Dennis Hamzik, the Swedish defender who came on after halftime. This is Hamzik. Montano, who was so accurate and good with the headers in the Chawan game, has another there. Owen Marshall with a physical take on the ball. And we have a collision, and we'll see what becomes of this.
Yellow card for Harry Rowe.
Yep. First card of the game either side, which for this game, the fact that we made it 60 minutes of gameplay without a card is pretty good. Now Rowe will come off for Genizer. I don't think Jack Winter is very happy with Harry Rowe at the moment.
He was a bit of a rash one, that. Do you not say that over it? Rash challenge?
No, it's just sometimes I forget, it's the same language, but it's basically two different languages. English versus American English. So free kick coming in for Figaro. See if the Bulldogs can cut this lead in half. It goes all the way in and an easy one for Basabi. Basabi goes down, takes a little dive on us after Witter passes by him.
Making the most of the contact.
If there was even any.
I think there was a little bit. Not enough to bring him down, though.
Hamzik whistled for that foul on Poza. Just over 30 minutes to go. Bears would like to have another here to breathe a little easier in these last 30. Jaime DeManuel kicks it sky high. And Bergendorf, who has been money ever since the second goal, continues that trend. And Basabi, God, I thought he was going to go for it with his hands outside the box. You hear the crowd giving a little Bronx cheer there for Kobe Vasquez, who I overheard the fans saying is a TikTok star, apparently. And there's a foul on the Bears just outside the box on Nygaard. Vasquez from Orlando. Referee's really holding court there in the middle of the field.
And it'd be a real shame here if the Bears were to concede another goal from a set piece, because although they've not given away quite as many as they did on, I can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday now, but
Wednesday, yep.
They've still, gave away quite a few free kicks in their own half.
The one Chawan goal was a penalty kick.
Yep.
Early in the game on a set piece, on a foul after the Bears had they committed 2 fouls right in a row to set up Chawan for that one. So Santos will take distance. Yeah. And it's way too high. Missed opportunity there for Wingate, and Santos knows it. Don't know how many more of those they're going to have the rest of the way, so.
Just noticed that Benny's on now for Harry Rowe. I wonder if that was
as a result
of his yellow card.
It was right after the card. Yeah, that was when I said Jack was having. When you were saying it was rash, I thought you were saying Jack Winter was rash.
Oh, no.
That's why I was laughing.
Yeah, I don't think he was too happy with Harry, like you say, with that challenge.
Vasquez heads it ahead. Santos fouled by Carlos. Chilly early Saturday evening. You're on the Bears Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing. Eric Bach and Jacob Parkinson, very happy you're along with us for this storied rivalry. It's an important game no matter what sport they're playing. Wingate and Lenoir-Rhyne. Victor Cascone thought about a shot there, but leaves it for Poza. Tries to get fancy. Jaime's shot gets deflected off of Hamzik. Bohiguas fires, but right at Bergendorf. Nico scored a goal from about that distance at Coker a few weeks ago. But it was top shelf, no chance for the Coker keeper. Not quite as well struck that time.
I've said it in the last few games, but the most important thing now for the Bears will be to keep that clean sheet. And like I said, I've said that the last few games, and on a few of them they haven't managed to do it. And I think if they could do that today, that'll be a massive boost of confidence for the defenders going forwards, and also Basabi with his second game back. If he can keep a clean sheet, then put him in good stead for the rest of the season.
The Bears seem to have found the groove offensively, so defense certainly wins championships. That's true basically no matter what sport you're talking about. If they can keep on their same form offensively, who knows how far they can go. And a foul going the other way this time on Witter. Got a little too physical there with Delgado and Fernandez. Over 20 minutes gone in the second half. Yet to have a goal after halftime. Both Bear goals before the intermission. Xavi Moya the first. His first of his season and career at LR. And Victor Cascone with the second off a header. That was a rebound after Monteleo Lobo hit the crossbar with his shot. Wingate still looking for their first. They play on after that contact, and Basabi runs it down at the edge of the box. Montano takes it up the far side. Another one, that time on Devin Scully. The referee's blown his whistle a lot, but I think he's had to.
Yeah, it's been a bit scrappy these last 10 minutes or so. Quite a few fouls. And really, Wingate are going to have to start pushing forwards and putting a bit more pressure on if they want to get anything out of this game now. With just over 20 minutes to go, they can't just keep playing the way they're playing and expecting to get a result. They're going to need to put a few more bodies forwards.
This might be a card coming on the Bulldogs after Harry Rowe picked up first of the game. And it is a yellow on Wingate. Couldn't see which player it was. I think that it was Sever Oland over there, number 19. So Poza will take it. The neon pink shoes. Here it comes in. Delgado keeps it alive right in front of the net. Montano in the air, and Delgado grabbed somebody and got whistled for the foul. The Bulldogs move quickly. was actually a good ball into the box there that Bohiguis deflected off the foot of Nygaard, leading scorer on this Wingate team. Sabi with the left foot sends it downfield. Poza deflects it. Benny Genizer, who's been on for about 10 now after Rowe went off.
Bohigues was making that run down the right-hand side, but no one could quite see his run.
Back to LR.
But these fullbacks for LR are so effective. You see it with Benny, Harry, and Bohigues. They all just open up the field, make it so much wider.
There's a takedown there. Looked like more of a football tackle than an American football tackle than a European football tackle. The ball has to go back to the spot in front of the Bear bench that the foul happened. The clock ticks under 20 minutes to go. Wingate needs 2 to tie. Vasquez sent that one in. Santos stopped by Basabi. Didn't have much velocity on it, so Juan goes down to his side, but Bear football is up 14-0 on Wingate now. Look out. Don't look now, but the Bears are playing really well. 1-3 straight.
The Bears are giving the Bulldogs a tricky day.
Yes, they are. Long way to go. Much less time to go in this one than that one. And now we have a clock stoppage as somebody's down. There was no whistle on that one, and the Bears are upset about it. As Witter gives some encouragement to, can't tell who that is down. Is that Cascone? I think it is. Victor having a chat with the referee. Limps his way back to the defense. Foul was on the second action by LR, and here comes the ball in from Wingate. Deflected, but Basabi right there again. He's made a lot of stops, but not trying to take anything away from him, but they haven't been terribly challenging.
No, Wingate haven't really created too much, to be honest. Like I've said, they've had possession, but is it just possession for possession's sake? They're not really creating too much or taking them chances.
That one off of the Bulldogs, so a corner coming for LR. As he often does, Poza takes it. Here it comes. It's loose. Deflected in the box off Montano on the foot of Cascone. Victor shoots and turned away again by Bergendorf, but another corner.
Bergendorf, I would say, has been the star player for Wingate tonight.
Easily, without a doubt.
You know, he couldn't really do much about that second goal.
Nope.
For the Bears, he had to.
Couldn't do much about either one.
No. You can't really blame him. He's had a good game, although two have
It
gone
should
past
be probably 4-0 if not for him. Fernandez tried to draw one there unsuccessfully as the whistle goes against LR. Nifty play there with the head by Owen Marshall. See if he can keep possession with all those white jerseys around him, and he has to go backwards. A little bit of space now for Wingate.
I mean, I've said plenty about Wingate's attacking not being too great tonight, but also we've got to give credit to LR's defence. You know, they've kept them out and they've made it so they can't have many chances. To be honest, they've dealt with them well.
This one off the head.
They
Ooh.
almost proved me wrong.
If you're in this business long enough, that'll happen to you often. But Basabi, I wondered why he didn't just catch that one, but obviously he knows where his post is and lets it narrowly go by. He's one of the ones that will be back next year, just a junior. So the back end of the D still intact for Jack Winter, even though Fernandez, Delgado, and Montano will... Oh, Delgado will be back too, pardon me. He's only a junior. So Fernandez and Montano and Bohiguis will all be gone.
I'm convinced these substitutions must be happening in secret. I look up on the pitch and I just see new players. Is that Harry Rowe on the far side?
A shot from Carlos from way outside. Yes, Harry Rowe is back in. Our normal trusty PA announcer, Sam, is out of town today, and normally he announces the substitutes coming in, so we are kind of made aware of them. Fernandez had a big crash there with Soren Nygaard. Looked like they were playing the ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think there's too much wrong with that challenge.
No,
I mean,
there's
obviously
not.
it's hurt him, but the actual challenge itself is perfectly legal, I think.
Fernandez took the brunt of it, or took a lot of it as well. It wasn't just Nygaard.
I mean, it's unfortunate the ball's hit him, but if that's given as a free kick, then it shouldn't be a free kick in my opinion, because he's, like you say, he's got the ball. It's just unfortunate that it's gone straight into the Wingate player. I think the referee's going to give a throw-in, which is the right decision.
He's called a good game so far, in my not very technical opinion.
That's the problem sometimes. You can have a perfectly legal challenge, which can leave a bit on the opposition player, and then it looks like a foul. And he's given a free kick to LR.
I got to say, after I saw that play, I did not expect this outcome, as they have to wait for Nygaard to exit. The referee forgot that Nygaard was slowly making his way off and almost started play while he and the trainer were right in the middle of the field. With 14:36 to go. Genizer spikes it into the ground off of his head. G-Nizer's touch was too far.
And then he gives away the free kick.
That's a throw-in back to the Bears, but things starting to get turned up, both physically and beyond that.
Was that a shove on Rowe, or did he just fall over?
I think it was exaggerated, but
most likely, yeah.
I think there was something little there that was made to look like it was more than it was. You know the Bears would love to get another to just twist the knife.
Another free kick to the Bears here in the opposition half. And send the big guys forward again. The last few ones have just been a bit too deep.
This is much deeper than the set piece that Fernandez got his goal on the other night, but still the same people involved as Rowe delivered it.
Couldn't quite get the distance that it needed on it. Here's G-Nizer. Can he do these long throw-ins that Harry Rowe can normally do? I think he's just going to go for a regular one.
Benny. The German surrounded by two blue jerseys, and it's a corner.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's a good win for him.
The only other non-Spaniard on the pitch.
Yep. Right in front. Still stays in for now. Rowe fires it in. Popped back out, but Bergendorf, man. This game ends 2-0. The Bulldogs should be thanking their goalkeeper that it wasn't worse.
He's had a very good performance tonight, like I said. Definitely the standout performer for the Bulldogs.
I think that Pedro Santos has been the best offensive player. He was the one that had the goal that was wiped off by the offside. But he's had numerous other decent chances tonight. Another free kick coming in from Harry Rowe. Fernandez pushed off and got whistled for it.
Good pressure from G-Nizer.
Owen Marshall was up to the task. Corpus on the far side. Don't forget, women's game coming up next, 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. This is Santos, who I just mentioned, but we're under 10 to go.
And the Bears will be hoping for a clean sweep at home today. The volleyball, men's soccer.
Assuming this ends the way it is now, yeah. Day with wins over Wingate and soccer and football and volleyball and over Queens, it's about as good as it gets if you're an LR fan. Time is now for Wingate. This ball is in for Witter. Chases it down on the end line. Centers it up, but headed out of there by Montano.
They've dealt with it well, and this is where I want to see the Bears see it out all the way to the end now. They don't want to give away a goal in the last 5 minutes, as they have done previously. That's more important than getting another goal at this point, just keeping that clean sheet.
Corpuz draws the corner. Bulldogs can ill afford to waste time at this point. Figueroa will take it. On its way. Off of Genizer, still not out. And Basabi stops that one. Ooh, that was close. Off the foot of Mikael Fallenbrunn. Almost five-holed him. Posa giving chase to Bendik Stad, freshman from Germany. You're right, some of these subs slipped right past me, too.
I know, you look up on the pitch and then you notice
it's like,
new players.
That guy came on. It's the Sam effect. No Sam, no noticing the subs.
And this is what Wingate should have been doing 10, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I don't know why they've left it so late. You know, they're piling people into the box now, putting long balls forwards, but I don't know why they didn't decide to do this earlier. To me, it's too little too late at this point.
Another corner. I totally agree with you, Jacob. Seems like this urgency should have been here for most, if not all, of the second half. So we're at 6 minutes even to go. Bergendorf way out of his box again, as he was in the first half, and nearly got burned.
This is what I was talking about earlier. Carlos just carries the ball so easily.
My. Basabi almost made a bad mistake there as he powered that one off of Witter right back to him, luckily for him. Because if that thing deflects a different direction, it could be in the back of the net right now.
He'll say he had the situation under control.
Of course he will. Row ahead to Cascone. He's been off the ball quite a while here in the second half. But this is a big run. Centered it and nobody was there. That would have been a perfect center if somebody was in position. Four and a half. Hamzik chips it in. Montano, you can see the water and the sweat go right off of his head in the lights when that ball hits it, just spraying. And a whistle.
Free kick to the Bears again. In the last 4 minutes now. I think they'll just see it out to the end, just keep possession. They won't be desperate to get another goal.
Bad pass there from Wingate that Genizer steps in front of. And now a counter. Carlos Montaliolobo. Uh-oh.
And is he holding his groin there?
Not sure.
Looks to me like he might be. He's up and walking. This is good free kick territory here. Not too close, not too far out. Just enough distance to get that dip up and over the wall and then back down again.
I'm just glad that Carlos Montaliolobo was not reaching for his groin. Montano, nope, he won't take it. Delgado will, and missed high as there is a sub coming in for the Bears. And it's Bohiguis coming back on for Genizer.
I'd say for me, today, one of the star players has been Chavi Moya, having him back in the team. He's been so vocal at the back. I think he's been a big factor of why the Bears haven't conceded. And obviously, he got that first goal as well to set off the scoring for the day.
Very, very light rain has started to fall here in Hickory. 2.5 minutes to go. You can tell how happy Carlos is to be back out there. He's played brilliantly tonight.
Yeah, Carlos was another one I was going to say, but the only reason I didn't mention his name is because he's not played the full 90, but like you say, I think that's due to protecting him. Another thing about Carlos, he's always in the library, always studying.
He's going to work at NASA someday, they say. Easily the smartest IQ guy on the team. Coaching staff said, when I asked them, met with all the fall coaching staffs before the season to kind of learn about all the teams, and first phrase is Bohiguis misplays that one. The first phrase that came up when I asked about Carlos was the first words out of their mouth was NASA. Like he's going to be some type of aeronautical engineer. I don't know if he wants to be an astronaut himself, but not just astronauts work at NASA. 1 minute to go.
1 minute remaining.
One last chance for Wingate to avoid a shutout tonight. Well, the day is off to a good start at home. LR gets 2 in the first half. Concede nothing.
I'd say it's been
As DeManuel spins that one in.
been a good performance from beginning to end for the Bears today.
Makes one last save, and there it is. LR wins the latest edition of the rivalry game 2-0. This one has to feel good for the Bears to take down their rival here tonight. Don't forget, women's game coming up in 30. Jacob and I will be back for that one. We hope you are too on the Bears Sports Network.